Welcome to the Azimut yacht stand at the Cannes Yachting Festival, where this boat is making its debut this year. This is the all-new Azimut Magellano 66. Now the Magellano range are Azimut's serious cruising yachts, if you like. They're not full planing, they have what they call a D2P hull that transitions from full displacement to semi-displacement and gives a really solid, secure ride. It's all about comfortable long-range cruising rather than overly glamorous or massive volume. So it's a really proper cruising boat. It's powered by conventional shaft engines. We'll just take a quick look at some of the details here. So you can see it's 66 foot long, it's 18 foot wide, twin 850 horsepower MAN engines. So the range of this boat, it's not massive actually, it's around about 275 nautical miles at around 18 knots. It has a maximum speed of about 24-25 knots, but it's very much about comfortable cruising rather than dashing about at high speed. So let's jump on board, have a quick look. You can see there is a big bathing platform, hydraulic bathing platform where the tender is stowed. There is a crew cabin down here. It's absolutely rammed full of boat show gear at the moment, but we can just have a quick shufty in there. You can see there is a single bed and a bathroom through that door there. I'm not sure if we can get to it. Oh, here we go. You can see there's also a window in the transom that does mean you get a certain amount of natural light. And there is an ensuite bathroom there. So for a relatively small boat, you're only going to need one captain, and that's quite a comfortable little private cabin when it's not full of boat show gear. Right, let's make our way on board now. We step up, you can see this big cockpit area here. There's a really nice U-shaped seating, so quite often you just get a relatively flat bench here, but this is a square table. You've got seating around three sides of it, and if you actually look, there is a little mini glass transom, like a window behind those cushions, which again just helps lighten it all, make a bit better connection with the sea. And those are those steps which also create the entrance to the crew cabin. So let's do a quick tour of the decks while we're out here. You can see there is a side gate here, giving access through those really tall, deep bulwarks actually. Again, that's one of the things, it's very easy to move around this boat, so they're nice and wide. This is above hip height. Lovely teak cappings all along here. So it's absolutely no problem, totally safe for people to move up to the foredeck, and that's because there is a really lovely socialising space up here. Again, a big U-shaped seating, drop-down table. That's because you can drop that table down, put a cushion in, and then that becomes one huge sunbed area. You can see there is a sun awning here, carbon fibre poles that slot in and create a lovely bit of shade. Lots of good storage here. You can see great for shoving your covers. There's even an inflatable life raft in there by the looks of things. Got all the anchor gear up here, nice and easy to get to. It's not too tucked away. There are obviously lockers here too. See down there's all the chain flaked in there, but there is some separation, so you can see there's a little separation that keeps that chain all together in its own well, so that you can shove fenders and ropes, whatever you want to, down there and not get too tangled up. This is very much Azimut at its practical best. Another storage locker there, and exactly the same big wide walk around side deck. And crucially, there is access through here too, so you can see that that is access into the galley, but I'll show you that from inside. Make our way back down the side deck, and another gate on the opposite side, so it doesn't matter which way you berth, you can always get to that. So little fridge in there, nice to have one out in the cockpit so you don't have to go inside to help yourself to that. And then just see what's least busy. Also, handy to note, you can have a second helm station there, so if you're berthing stern 2 in the Mediterranean, it does mean you can do it from there. So it's a little bit busy inside, but we'll see what we can do. Perhaps also just note more storage under there, and that looks like there's also, oh no, that's just a little bin. So, big saloon area. Again, really comfortable seating, relatively low level because you've got these lovely side windows all around. Rather lovely unit over here. You can see it's kind of backlit, semi-transparent, but that's where you store all your glasses. And there is bottle storage there too for your red wines, and there's an option to have a wine cooler under here to make sure your whites and rosés are suitably chilled. So we'll make our way forward gradually, trying to avoid too many people, but here you can see there is the dining area. So it's kind of semi-permanent. So at the moment this is how it's normally laid out. You can see it's rounded at one end, flat on the other, and it is attached in place there with 6 seats laid out, which is probably what you're mostly going to be cruising with. But if you do want to have a couple of extra guests on board, there is actually another leg in there. You can undo it, move the whole thing out, and then you can get an extra person sitting on that end of the table and an extra person on this end, so you can seat 8 there if you want to. Right, let's see if we can go forward into the Helm area. So you can have this completely open as an option. No, please go for it, thank you. So you can have it open or you can have it closed off. It depends whether you're running it as an owner-driver or a crewed boat, but you can have the option to have that, leave that totally open if you want it more as a family boat, or like this where it's semi-enclosed. You can see there is a pocket door there, so that can slide across, keep it completely separate, and this rather lovely round hatch that you can serve through, but of course there is a drop-down blind there that again can give you that extra privacy if you want to. Now again, galley itself, induction hob, oven, all the usual stuff, big sink, lots of cooling space, refrigerated and frozen, and there is that access out onto the side deck. So again, really useful if it is a crewed boat. Crew can come and go along that side deck without having to go through the saloon. Helm station itself, you can have an option of 1 or 2 seats here. At the moment it's just spec'd with the 1 seat, but you can have a second that goes there, obviously. And here we've got the Helm itself. Small window that you can slide back, so at least you have got a means of communicating with crew out on the side deck. You can poke your head, have a look up and down, have a good look around. Now it is on shaft drives, but you have got the Aventix joystick system, so that can take a lot of the hassle out of mooring something like this. It will combine the thrusters. You've got the 2 side power thrusters, bow and stern, so it'll help take care of that and juggle that for you when you're coming in if you want to do it on the joystick, or just treat it as a conventional shaft drive boat and use the thrusters themselves. Twin screens, not the largest I've ever seen. There's probably an option for bigger ones if you want, but Raymarine touchscreen system gives access to all the ship systems as well as navigation. Right, let's drop back down through the boat and see if we can have a look downstairs at some of the accommodation. So, curved staircase down into the lower accommodation, a little bit of extra storage on the way down, and then into a lower lobby area. And let's go towards the back first, and this is the main owner's cabin. We've got there, just turn that light off so we don't get interference from the LED lights, but you can see full beam master cabin towards the stern of the boat. Nice big comfortable island berth. It's not quite rectangular actually, it does narrow a little bit at the end and curve at the end just to give you a bit more floor space so it's easier to move around. Again, lots of different options you can have here, but this has got this rather nice little desk area, oval shaped table, nice comfy, not quite an armchair but really cool interior design actually. What they've done, rather than using an exterior designer for this, they've used their own internal Azimut Magellano team from the super yachts and brought them across to this slightly smaller, more mainstream boat and got them to use their full super yacht experience and skills to design this. So quite a different feeling. Look at these, even the storage here, you can see these lovely drawers that slide out, but they've made the handles kind of part of the feature itself. And again, up above, so really useful. You've got 6 nice deep drawers that look really cool, work really well. Another big storage area in here. It's wouldn't call it a walk-in wardrobe, but it's a really deep wardrobe, all lit inside. Hanging rail for your jacket. Television behind the door. And is this also, there we go, that's how to open that one. Again, another really big wardrobe there, full hanging space, built-in safe, lots of shelves. It is a serious cruising boat, and as everybody knows, you cannot have too much storage on a cruising boat. And then lovely ensuite bathroom that is running along the port side of the hull. Marble effect around the sink, and I think it's probably the real deal. Big walk-in shower, both an overhead and a pull-out. And in this case, they've got the toilet and the bidet, but you can spec it. You don't have to have the bidet if you don't want to. There is a window there. They've got the blinds down at the moment, but you obviously can have lots of nice natural light in there too. And then moving forward, there is room for a washer dryer in there, or extra storage. And then there are a bunk cabin over here on the port side, relatively tight, quite narrow, but does mean you get 4 cabins on the 66-foot boat. Again, just enough storage. This does not have its own ensuite bathroom because it shares it with the other twin cabin over on this side, and this is a substantially bigger cabin actually. Again, we'll just see if we can knock those lights off to stop the flickering, but there are 2 separate beds there, and this does have its own ensuite bathroom, but it does have to share it with that bunk cabin on the port hand side. But good sized bathroom, got its own hull window, and of course there is access from that lobby area. So it's ensuite to the twin room, but it also has to double as the shared bathroom for the bunk room. There is proper separate shower compartment. And then moving further forward, so that's 1, 2, 3 cabins, and then the 4th cabin is the VIP in the bow area. Again, let's just knock these lights off. Now it's a little bit dark actually because we've got the blinds down. I might see if I can at least open those up rather than necessarily lift them, but you can see you can actually pull that and it will lift up. There we go, that's rather better. So good size hull windows, given that we're right forward in the bow. There is an opening port there too, overhead hatch, another island berth that narrows a little bit towards the feet, but pretty much full beam, full width. And then into the ensuite bathroom, again proper separate shower compartment, everything you need. Another big round hull window opens up, lots of mirrors to help bounce the light around. But again, the emphasis is on a really capable all-weather cruising boat rather than maximising volume or particularly luxurious interior. It is very comfortable, don't get me wrong, but unlike the Flybridge range, which is all about maximising volume and very stylish interiors, this is a slightly more serious cruising boat. So that still leaves the Flybridge to have a look at. Let's see how busy it's looking up there, but nice curved access to this means it's a little bit shallower than it might be. Steps aren't that deep, but because they're wider on one side than the other, it's not too tricky to come up. And then a really, really long Flybridge area. Now, I really like the way they've done this. They've kept this as open as possible. Freestanding furniture, you can have pretty much whatever you like up here. I think these are a very smart solution actually. That's kind of a teak freestanding sofas with lovely fabric cushions. Gives a nice soft look, but what a lovely spot to hang out during the day of an evening. You have your drinks here, got no interruption to the view, just these stainless steel guardrails. Really comfy sofa. I could definitely get used to hanging out here. But look how long this space is. You can obviously spec it completely differently. You could have more furniture, you could have some beds, you could do whatever you like. But it's nice to have the option to fit that out as you want to. And this is another quite cool feature. So this big hardtop over here, you can see there's a central pillar. And if you look carefully, you'll notice a shower head up there and controls for the shower there. So you can come out of the water, having a lovely swim. If you want to shower off, get the salt off your body, you can have a freshwater shower up here, or just use it to chill out if you're getting a little bit overheated during the day. What a lovely way to cool off. So, lovely seating area here. This is obviously the more formal dining space. There's a really deep rectangular table, seating along 3 sides of it. You get a couple of director's chairs on this side, plenty of space to have lunch up on the Flybridge. Lots more sunbathing area here in front of the Helm station. Really deep, squishy cushions. This overhead hardtop we've already mentioned, but you can see there's a big opening fabric section up overhead. So you can open it up and let the sun in, but equally, even when it's closed, because it's kind of semi-translucent, you get this rather nice diffused light. Option for single or twin Helm seats up here. I think it works rather well just with a single one, actually. There's so much other seating that it's nice to have a bit more space and freedom of movement around it. All the same controls. I won't go through them all again, but you can see we've got the joystick and the throttles, etc. And then there's a couple of different options here. This has just been left as storage, you can see, but you can have an opening top here. You could put fridges, freezers, whatever you want. You can see there are the controls for that overhead sunroof. I don't know if they're live at the moment. There you go. You can see that will open all the way up. I'm not going to wait for it to do the full thing, but you get the idea. And then here is the main wet bar itself, which if we lift that up, there we go, really heavy moulding, beautifully done. But you can see we've got the Kenyan grill on this side, big sink, and under here, as you'd expect, you've got a fridge there and an ice maker there. So everything you need up on the Flybridge, and imagine there's probably even a bin there. There is indeed. So close that up, and now you can get an impression of just how long this space is. So all the way from the sunbed up here, just have a quick peer over. That's the sun awning for the foredeck that I showed you earlier. But look at how big this space is. Runs all the way back. Somebody else is filming there, so I'll try not to trouble him, but just give you an idea of how big that Flybridge is. Fabulous space. Right, let's drop down, see if we can take a look in the engine bay. That's really quite heavy. See if I can give that a tug. There we go. Oh. Okay, there we go. It has on gas struts, but you just need to get it high enough to make that possible. I'm going to have to go down this backwards, so forgive me if this is a little bit awkward. Here we go. Down into the engine bay. And that's a fantastic layout. So, lots and lots of space down here. Give you an idea if I move over into this corner, but there's the ladder down. You can see the 2 man engines here. Now, these are on shafts, but they're not straight shafts, they're on V-drives. You can see there is going forward into the gearbox and then the shaft coming back out through the hull. Twin MAN engines, full standing headroom in the engine bay. There is plenty of height above my head, nicely lit, plenty of space to work on the engines themselves. Now you can see where I came down that ladder. Here is a gyroscopic stabilizer. I presume it's a Seakeeper. I can't see any branding on it, but it looks like it. So that's the full stabilization at rest as well as underway. See the Kohler generator fitted at the back end here. And over here is the air conditioning compressor, I think Dometic system. You've got a hose coil in there, so you can help clean the engine bay with that. There it is, there's a Seakeeper 16, I can see it there. And then there's lots of boat show gear here, but you can see plenty of storage space and looks like hydraulics under there. So really good sized engine room. Again, key part of that Magellano philosophy. So jump up here. Let's close that to make sure nobody falls down that. Just take the weight of that, and there we go. So let's finish up here in the cockpit of the Azimut Magellano 66. I hope you've enjoyed that quick tour. It's always a bit of a struggle at a boat show to see everything without getting too many other people in shot, but hopefully you've got an impression of the boat. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.